Welcome children. We are now starting our next chapter, coordinate geometry. In this, you will learn the various aspects of Cartesian plane and Cartesian system. I am Priya Menon. Let me start this chapter with a question. What is coordinate geometry? There are many branches in maths. For example, algebra, geometry, arithmetic, mensuration, etc. In algebra, you deal with variables. For example, x, y, and so on. While in geometry, you see different shapes. For example, line, triangle, circle, etc. In arithmetic, you deal with numbers, different numbers and different operations. For example, 2 plus 5 is equal to 7, 8 minus 3 is equal to 5, etc. In mensuration, you have seen volume, area, surface area, and so on. But what is coordinate geometry? Let's see the definition of coordinate geometry. The branch of mathematics in which geometrical problems are solved using Cartesian system is known as coordinate geometry. It means if you are using Cartesian system to solve any geometrical problems, that branch is called coordinate geometry. And what do you mean by Cartesian system? The system used for describing the position of a point in a plane is known as Cartesian system. Means if you want to locate a point or in a plane, you can use Cartesian system to locate that point. You have to draw two perpendicular lines which will divide the plane into 4 quadrants, and it will help you to locate that particular point. I will explain that in next slide. Cartesian system is developed by French mathematician René Descartes. He was born in 1596 and passed away in 1650. Most of us will feel quite comfortable to sit in a quiet environment to think and find a solution. However, René found it most encouraging to lie on his bed and think. Interesting, isn't it? Or you can call him lazy. One day, while resting in his bed, he wondered how he can locate a point in a plane. That was the origin of the invention of Cartesian system. He drew horizontal and vertical lines to create columns and rows on that plane. Allow me to explain this in a classroom scenario. Imagine a well-arranged classroom with 4 students sat on their individual desks. Let's name them Nina, Arjun, Neela, and Maya. If somebody wants to locate Nina, according to Cartesian system, if you look in the graph, there are columns and rows. Nina is located in 3rd column, 4th row. So Nina's position is 3, 4. It's always denoted as column 1st and row 2nd. Another example, say if the teacher wants to pass a message to Arjun through the school attendant. The teacher would give Arjun's coordinates as 6, 7. How will he find Arjun's position from this? Look at the diagram, where you can see Arjun sits in 6th column, 7th row. So Arjun's position is 6, 7. Similarly, the case of Neela, she is sitting in ninth column, fifth row. We can mark it as 9, 5. Now, where is Maya sitting? She sits in seventh column, first row. So, 7, 1. Remember, we should mark column first and row second. This is the easiest way to locate a point in a plane. Rene further developed this into x-axis and y-axis. We all have been using this system for ages in our real life. You know where? On a globe. Through longitudes and latitudes, we are able to locate or find the countries, continents, etc. In fact, it was Rene who developed the idea of longitudes and latitudes to create Cartesian system. I hope I have explained it well enough. Here I am giving you an example of a Cartesian plane. You can see two perpendicular lines. The horizontal line is marked as X and the vertical line is marked as Y. You can see these two lines meet at a point O. We count the rows and columns from this meeting point, which is called origin. X-axis shows positive numbers on its right side of origin and negative numbers on its left side. Y-axis shows above origin all positive numbers and below negative numbers. And you can see these two axes divide the plane into 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, Quadrant 2, Quadrant 3 and Quadrant 4. These quadrants are numbered in anti-clockwise direction. First quadrant shows positive sides of X and Y axis. So while locating a point on this quadrant, both the coordinates will be positive. You can see a point marked over there. Its coordinates are 4, 5. While counting from the origin, the point lies in 4th column, 5th row. Coming to second quadrant, we can see the negative side of x-axis and the positive side of y-axis, which means a point lies in this quadrant will have its x-coordinate negative and its y-coordinate positive. A point is given as an example. While counting from origin, it lies in second column, second row. Its coordinates are -2, 2. In third quadrant, you can see the negative part of both axes. That means the negative sides of both x and y axis. So if a point lies in this quadrant, if we take the coordinates of that point, both x coordinate and y coordinates will be negative. A point is marked over there. Its coordinates are -3, -4. Both are negative numbers. Finally, in fourth quadrant, you can see positive side of x-axis and negative side of y-axis. So, a point in this quadrant will have its x-coordinate positive and y-coordinate negative. For example, if we take the marked point, its x-coordinate is +5 and y-coordinate is -6. So it is 5, -6. We will just recap on what we did. There are two perpendicular lines on a plane which are called x-axis and y-axis. These two axes meet at a point O, and these two axes divide the plane into 4 quadrants. first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant. A point lies in first quadrant will have x coordinate positive and y coordinate positive, both positive. A point lies in second quadrant will have its x coordinate negative and y coordinate positive. A point lies in third quadrant will have both x coordinate and y coordinate negative. And a point lies in fourth quadrant will have its x coordinate positive and y coordinate negative. Hope it's clear. Moving on to the theoretical side of coordinate geometry, here I am going to explain how we name the x coordinate, y coordinate, etc. The position of the point is located on a plane by drawing two lines perpendicular to each other. We have seen it already. If you want to locate a point on a plane, you can draw two perpendicular lines which will divide the plane into four quadrants, and it will help you to locate that point with ease. The horizontal line is called x-axis and the vertical line is called y-axis. The plane is called the Cartesian plane or coordinate plane, and the mutually perpendicular lines are called axes. That means on which plane you are drawing the perpendicular lines, that plane is called Cartesian plane or coordinate plane. And the two x-axis and y-axis together we call axes, plural. The x coordinate of a point is called abscissa. So we were naming x coordinate and y coordinate until now, but there is a special name for x coordinate which is abscissa and special name for y coordinate which is ordinate. The y coordinate of a point is called the ordinate. The abscissa of every point is 0 on the y-axis and the ordinate of every point is 0 on the x-axis. This means if you have a point on the y-axis, the x coordinate of that point will be 0. Any point which lies on y-axis will be having x coordinate 0. That means abscissa 0. At the same time, any point which lies on x-axis will be having ordinate 0. The y coordinate 0. Next is the coordinates of the origin are 0, 0. What is origin? You can see a meeting point of those two perpendicular lines, right? When you draw x-axis and y-axis, they meet at a particular point. That point is known as origin. And the coordinates of the origin are 0, 0. These axes divide the plane into four quadrants that we have seen already. X-axis and y-axis divide the plane into four quadrants. How we mark the points of the quadrant? The points of the type lies in first quadrant is positive, positive. The points which lies in first quadrant will be having abscissa and ordinate both positive. The point lies in quadrant 2 will be having abscissa negative and ordinate positive. The point which lies in quadrant 3 will be having both abscissa and ordinate negatives. The point which lies in quadrant 4 is having abscissa positive and ordinate negative. Last but not the least, we can represent a point in a plane called a Cartesian plane or a coordinate plane by means of an ordered pair of real numbers called the coordinates of that point. How we represent a point on a plane? With the help of two real numbers. The real numbers will change according to the position, right? Which quadrant it lies in. And these numbers are called coordinates of that point. Now you have understood that the position of any object lying in a plane can be represented with the help of two perpendicular lines, isn't it? Imagine a table lamp on your study table and you have to explain the position of the lamp to your friend. How will you do that? The question is, how will you describe the position of a table lamp on your study table to another person? What you have to do is, you have to consider the lamp as a point P and the table as a plane. Now, you imagine two perpendicular lines on your table. We will name them OX and OY. Those lines will divide the table into 4 sections. The lamp will be in one section. So, here in the picture, only that section is shown. To explain the position of the lamp, what you have to do is measure the distance of the lamp from OX. Say it is 30 centimeter. OX we take as horizontal line and OY vertical line. So the distance of P from OX we are taking as 30 centimeter. Now measure the distance of the lamp P from the vertical line OY. Let it be 20 centimeter. You can see in the picture the distance of the lamp from OX is 30 centimeter and OY is 20 centimeter. How will you show this? We have to write 20 and 30 in a bracket. The horizontal distance we write first and the vertical distance second. Thus, the position of the lamp P referred to the edges OX and OY is 20, 30. Thank you very much. I hope you have understood the concept of Cartesian system now. We will meet again for the continuation part very soon. See you.